Have you ever walked into an exam room and suddenly felt like your brain turned into Swiss cheese with all the holes where your knowledge used to be? What if I told you there are people who can memorize the order of a shuffled deck of cards in under 30 seconds, or recite pi to thousands of decimal places without breaking a sweat? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of memory masters and uncovering the exact techniques they use to remember absolutely everything. I'm about to share with you the same strategies that helped a pizza delivery guy become the USA memory champion, and how an average student went from failing grades to photographic recall. These aren't genetic superpowers or rare talents. These are learnable skills that anyone can master, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to transform your memory from ordinary to extraordinary. Let's start with something that will blow your mind. Memory champions don't actually have better brains than you do. In fact, brain scans of world-class memorizers show no significant structural differences compared to average people. The secret lies entirely in how they process and store information, and it all comes down to three fundamental principles that anyone can learn. The first principle is called the method of loci, also known as the memory palace technique. This is the golden standard of memory techniques, used by ancient Greek orators and modern memory champions alike. Here's how it works in the simplest terms possible. Think of a place you know extremely well, like your childhood home or your current apartment. Now imagine walking through this space in a specific order, from room to room. This familiar journey becomes your memory palace. When you want to remember a list of information, you simply place each item at different locations along your route. Let's say you need to memorize the first 10 presidents of the United States. Start at your front door and place George Washington there, maybe chopping down your doorframe with his famous axe. Move to your living room and picture John Adams sitting in your favorite chair, arguing loudly about politics. Continue to your kitchen where Thomas Jefferson is writing the Declaration of Independence on your refrigerator. The more vivid and bizarre you make these images, the better they stick. The reason this works so powerfully is because your brain is naturally wired to remember spatial information and visual images far better than abstract facts or numbers. You're hijacking your brain's natural strengths to overcome its weaknesses. But here's where most people mess up the memory palace technique. They try to cram too much information into each location, or they don't make their mental images vivid enough. The key is to make each image so outrageous and memorable that it's impossible to forget. Think action, emotion, and exaggeration. The second principle is called the linking method, and this is perfect for remembering sequences or lists. Instead of trying to memorize isolated pieces of information, you create a story that connects each item to the next. Your brain loves stories because they provide context and meaning. Let's practice with a grocery list: milk, bread, eggs, bananas, and cheese. Here's your story. A giant glass of milk is surfing on a loaf of bread down a river. The bread crashes into a chicken who starts throwing eggs at flying bananas. The bananas land in a pool of melted cheese that's bubbling like lava. The weirder your story, the more memorable it becomes. This technique works because your brain processes connected information much more efficiently than random, unrelated facts. You're essentially creating a neural pathway that leads from one piece of information to the next. The third principle involves transforming abstract information into concrete, visual images. This is where memory masters truly excel. They never try to remember raw numbers or abstract concepts. Instead, they convert everything into vivid, memorable pictures. For numbers, many memory champions use something called the major system. Each digit from 0 to 9 is assigned specific consonant sounds. You then create words using these consonants, adding vowels as needed. For example, the number 14 might become the word tire because the consonants T and R correspond to 1 and 4 respectively. But you don't need to learn complex systems to benefit from this principle. Simply asking yourself, what does this remind me of, and creating visual associations can dramatically improve your recall. If you're studying biology and need to remember that mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, picture a tiny power plant inside each cell, complete with smoking chimneys and electrical towers. Now let's talk about the most crucial element that separates memory masters from everyone else: active recall and spaced repetition. This is where the magic really happens. Most people think they're studying when they're just passively rereading their notes or highlighting textbooks. But your brain learns through retrieval, not recognition. Here's what you need to do instead. After creating your memory palace or story, close your books and actively try to recall the information from scratch. This feels harder than passive review, and that's exactly why it works. Each time you successfully retrieve information from memory, you're strengthening those neural pathways. Then comes spaced repetition. Review the information again after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week, then 2 weeks. This timing takes advantage of your brain's natural forgetting curve, reinforcing memories right before they fade away. The most successful memory masters combine all these techniques into a personalized system. They don't just use one method. They layer multiple techniques together for maximum effectiveness. Your memory palace might contain linked stories, with abstract concepts transformed into vivid images, all reinforced through active recall and spaced repetition. Remember, becoming a memory master isn't about being born with special abilities. It's about understanding how your brain naturally works and using proven techniques to optimize your memory. Start with one technique today, practice it consistently, and watch as your ability to remember everything transforms completely.
Hey everyone, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Make sure you hit that notification bell too.